man, maybe it's good you didn't win.
Why?
Because everybody else is playing for like AIDS Project Los Angeles.
Good point.
And like wounded veterans.
That's a good point.
I'm sure the veteran with a head wound is glad they still got the violin section at Paul Revere Middle School down the street.
Yeah. Or remember those whistles we used to all get?
Slide whistles.
The slide whistles, exactly.
That's the sound it makes every time he gets out of bed.
And there's not even a pitch to it. That's all you can make. But actually, John Rich, who won, played for St. Jude's, and we actually got to meet some of the St. Jude's kids.
Dying children.
Yeah, they need $1 million.
I wonder what Marley Matlin's charity was.
Me too, right?
I think it was Seeing Eye Dogs. Yeah. And that was the curveball that propelled her to a number 2 finish. Can you imagine how great it would be if her charity was for something for sight?
Anything but hearing is not funny.
Yeah, but something super specific. Like, oh man, just planner's warts.
You know what's funny, dude, is that what's really cool to her, she's such a sweet person. Gary, I guess, found out he had a hearing problem on the show too. Because, you ask Gary something and he goes, what? And he's like, I love Gary, but he's like a little kid. He actually prepared me for my twins because, he's the greatest guy in the world for 8 hours. Then getting into that 9th hour, Gary want to kill you. You've done every point break dialogue you can. You've gone back and forth. You've been aggressive. You've yelled. You've had fun. He spits all over you when he talks. He pushes you out of the way. He's kind of like a kid. He's got no manners, And Marley actually called him on it and said, Gary, why don't you listen to me when I talk to you? Why do you push me out of the way and stuff? And he's like, what? And
I wish he goes, why don't you listen to me when I talk to you?
Oh, God. Oh, Jay. Terrible. She's lovely.
That was a layup, dude.
She's great.
Come on.
But come on, I'm in the middle of a heartwarming story.
Yeah. So about Gary Busey spitting on you when he talks. I wish it had a fireplace going. It's like one of the fireside chats from back in the day.
So she actually said, Gary, I think there's something wrong with your hearing. Long story short, took him down to see her doctor, who gave Gary this cochlea implant for $100,000 for free in the middle of the show. And now Gary, he heard a little better. It didn't really change who he was.
Doesn't mean you listen.
No, exactly. He has selective hearing. Look, I get it. He's got a brain injury. He's a little crazy, but that doesn't mean you can be rude. There's a fine line. You know what I'm saying?
My fatal flaw is I finally learned to listen, and now I can't hear anything. I finally got into a life.
What does that mean?
I'm just losing my hearing.
For real? Because I am.
Oh yeah, totally.
Do you have the titanitis thing with the ring in yours?
Thank God, because that would ruin marijuana forever.
But yeah, it does. It ruins everything forever. 20 years of being touring around the world, I've got it, and if I listen to it, I'm like, that's my life for the rest of my life.
You have it right now, right now, you hear it.
Yeah, if I concentrate, I hear it.
Because I can this way, me and Cohen don't hear it. It's totally in your head.
God, I hate you guys.
I couldn't give a straight face.
It's a white noise, and if I concentrate and I go, that's my life forever. It sucks. I actually have to sleep with the earbud in on the radio, like sports radio or something.
I heard Pete Townsend series, and when he goes to sorry, I tried to get a joke out, but it made me laugh too hard. Because you just have white noise, but he's been at it so much longer. His hearing's so bad when he closes his eyes to go to sleep, he hears yakety sax from Benny Hill. Jeez, that would have been so funny.
How do you make yourself laugh like that?
Because I just pictured in his head, and Benny Hill slapping the old guy in the head, and I got nuts.
Are you so fast for yourself that you make yourself laugh? You can't make a transition into something you're thinking and not laugh out loud?
Sometimes, if we were,
that's how quick you are, dude. That's amazing.
It just surprised me. Yakety sax is an old Jim Rome reference. They always play it.
Yeah, no, I know.
But I was picturing whatever. I'm embarrassed that I blew that one. That was a layup, and I just clanked it off the back of the rim.
No, dude, you were 5 for 5 going there for a while.
Yeah, I was heating up. Yeah. On NBA jams, I had to.
That's a heat check, dude.
Yeah. He's heating up.
What is your Jim Rome stature right now? Where are you guys at right now?
Great. I mean, that guy's done more for me than I've done for me. As far as selling tickets and stuff.
Yeah.
Hosting that show, and it's 2 million listeners. It's 4 million. Who knows with radio? But I know it's over 200 affiliates.
You kill it every time you're on there. What have you been doing for 15 years now? Haven't you? I've been doing it
a long time. You would be good at it.
I don't think I have the wealth of sports knowledge and certainly not the quickness you have to do that. You know what I mean?
That's why you prepare. You write. You just spend, if you've got a week out.
Yeah.
What I do, I used to go in there.
But callers can't even fuck with you, dude. You can bet, callers are throwing curveballs. You're right there. You're not
That's like giving a ball of yarn to a kitten, though. Really? Yeah,
what do you think of Jeremy Lin, dude? Yeah, right.
Well, when they make fun of me, it's the best.
Oh, yeah. Well,
what a loser I am. You're calling a radio show.
At 11:30.
You're in your car going, what's the number? Just say the number again. And then 1-800-636-8686. Woo! You would do good. Well, I used to go in. I had a cocky stretch where I'd go in with just the USA Today sports page.
Yeah.
And just fly. But then sometimes they got more strict with the callers because the callers would really – you can't predict what somebody's going to say, and it could just go horrible. It can get racist. It can get ugly. It can get sexist.
Yeah.
No personal appearance smack. They make fun of the way someone looks.
And that's rough on you to, like, redirect that.
I don't care, but it's Jim's show.
No, I know you don't care, yeah.
I'm not a substitute teacher because those you walk all over.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more of like a gatekeeper, like, keep the car cool for me. I'm going in. I'll be right back.
Right.
Like, I come back and there's scratches and there's a wheel
right.
missing. Sorry, I thought it'd be funny if they all made fun of Marley Matlin for 2 hours. We just got on a run. We made fun of Ray Coombs hanging himself on Family Feud.
Oh, jeez.
Those days are over. So now you got to it becomes more of a corporate job. And it is a corporation. And there's so much revenue that you realize if I blow this because I step over the line,
that's a good point.
Jim takes the heat.
Good point.
I never get invited back. And then this guy for the rest of his life goes, that guy fucked me.
And it's a cheap shot, too. It's too easy for you. You know what I mean? Like, I bet your instincts are to, like, really to do the Jay Mohr thing. But you're right. You have to stay in that corporate margin, dude. Because there's many layers getting paid off the Jim Rome show. All
the affiliates.
Yeah.
From lumber liquidators to... size carpets in Cleveland to whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody's got something a finger in the pie.
Right.
And there's premier radio networks and, everybody else.
How come you don't have a radio show now?
This is my radio show now.
So, okay, but not many people can move a podcast like you, though. You know what I'm saying? Was there ever a commitment to do a daily syndicated?
Probably a good year of chasing it aggressively and just nobody really gave a shit.
What were the obstacles, Jay? Because you've proven yourself on Jim's show.
There was no way I was going to ever set up shop opposite Jim.
So that's the obstacle. End of story when you think about it.
Yeah, like if they go, hey, you got a meeting at ESPN, I'd go, I don't know if I could do that. That's like the ultimate. Like ideally, it would be Jim, and then he goes, stay tuned, Jay Mohr's next, like when Leno used to do it for Conan.
Right.
Like that would be my ideal thing.
Right, but you're being Joan Rivers trying to compete against, Johnny Carson back in the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with Jim, it's just a conversation ender. Like you go in, meet ESPN, it's like, no. And then, I have so much fun doing that show. Oh, and by the way, clones, I read your hashtags, I read your tweets. The only reason I haven't asked Jim Rome to do the podcast, honestly, I just think it's beneath him.
Thanks. I'm kidding you, dude.
He's right now driving to a studio to do a TV show. I mean, he's got 2 full-time jobs.
How has he done that for so long,
I don't know, but to ask him to go he lives in Orange County, to go, hey, why don't you bust up here on your day off? And I'll just get your I don't know. It's just.
But I think he would be honored to do that for you, dude. You've done so much for him. I think you're such a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? That
I would like to
give it a shot.
You know what? I'll ask him one day. You know what? Also, if you ask him, it puts him in a super uncomfortable position.
I dig. You're not that guy.
If he wants to tell you no, then he's in a super uncomfortable position, and then you're never guest hosting because it's uncomfortable to have you around.
God, a lot of obstacles hanging with Jim Rome, man. I didn't know that shit.
No.
I'm kidding you, dude. What about a companion piece to the Jim Rome show?
Yeah, I want
lead-in, post-show.
Yeah, I want to be the show on after Jim Rome, and Jim could produce it. That's what I would like.
I mean, who's before, Dina Costa? Who the fuck's before Jim Rome?
Dina Costa's good.
He's great. I'm kidding. I'm just thinking of a name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's such an obvious companion piece.
You don't love the loose cannons?
I love all that. I really do. I listen to all that shit.
Feeling you! Mark Mcgrath, there's no doubt, downtown in the LA Hoops Dojo. Kobe, the Black Mamba.
That's
feeling you, Kobe. That's Vic the Brick Jacobs. You see the brick eater.
You gotta love that man.
I love him.
Do you see what he wears?
Yeah.
He wears
Vic the Brick Jacobs had his own show for a while. I think he came out of Austin or something. He's a Jewish guy from New York.
He had a real dojo?
No, I said he's a Jewish guy from New York.
Yeah.
And that he calls the Staples Center the Hoops Dojo.
Yeah, right.
Because Phil Jackson was the Zen master.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you said he had a dojo and lost it.
I think he came. I said I think he came out of Austin, and then
do you know when he first came to LA? Excuse me to interrupt you. He had a mustache and he looked like Keith Olbermann, sort of 80s era. And he had a brick, and he'd take a brick, and that's where the brick comes from. He'd throw it at the TV show.
See the brick?
The brick, right? But it was anything but this sort of Eastern philosophy, Zen Buddhist guy he's become that wears like a giant Laker hairy poncho around all day.
He wears a poncho.
Have you seen that thing?
Vic, you're a dirty hippie.
He stinks a little, bro, and I love Vic.
But
I got in close for. It's a lot of love. It's a lot of natural Kravitz, Lenny Kravitz style love. But damn, dude, he stinks, bro.
He really could have stepped right into Parliament.
Yeah,
he could
totally, dude.
He could have been in P-Funk in a minute, just in the back with the guy in a diaper hopping around like a frog. He's just in the back, feeling you! With his Laker poncho and his white sunglasses that he wears indoors.
And like the Jamiroquai hat he wears around.
There's no doubt about it, Mark Mcgrath, the truth of the Jay Mohr podcast.
Nicest guy in the world, though.
The best.
There is no nicer, more engaging, more welcoming man than Vic.
And there's
the Brick.
no one you'll be happier to see. He'll be standing next to Pat O'Brien.
Yeah.
And it's great to see Pat O'Brien.
Absolutely.
But you're like, Vic, give me one. And he'll go,
feeling you!
Vic the Brick. Are you on Twitter?
I am, yeah.
I couldn't find you.
Yeah, well, a lot of people can't find me. It's at Mark_McGrath. That's my Twitter.
Underscore is my go-to now. Whenever I can't find somebody, I just get a
go underscore, dude.
Right.
Someone had the Mark McGrath, dude. There is another Mark McGrath in the world. I follow you.
1,000.
I know, you dig it. I can't even get verified either. Though, I think there's let's be honest, Twitter's sort of like an indie cool company, Urban Outfitters wearing people. The antithesis of what Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray is about. I think there's almost like, we're not verified.
You hosted Extra. What the fuck are you talking about?
But there are 3 people who have 1,000,
what was Dana's
followers.
Last name?
What's that?
Dana Devin?
Dana Devin, yeah.
And Mark McGrath coming up next.
Yeah.
Did Snooki get a boob job? Like, don't be one of the cool kids.
The stars were out in Hollywood last night, man. Oh, that was rough.
Let's downshift quickly into Extra because
Sure.
I know
you were at Extra, Jay.
Yes, and
they loved you there.
What America needs to know and what you already know. Extra, Entertainment Tonight, whatever, any show of that ilk.
Yeah.
You are stealing money.
Ridiculous.
You read a prompter of make-believe news, and sometimes real news.
Yeah.
See how I got to keep the door open in case it's my job in 5 years?
No, but you're right to do that.
And you just, like news anchors.
It's
like
the
are stealing
hours
money.
too, Jay. I showed up at 9 and I left at 1:15. Okay.
And you're home to the twins.
Home for twins. Well, I wasn't,
And your kids.
But back then I didn't have any kids. I was just home to do whatever I wanted to do.
No, your wife. Your twins.
Yeah.
I'm stupid.
Good. And they took 2 months off a year for like hiatuses and stuff like that to cut down the studio costs.
Months?
2 months off a year.
You know,
dude. It was Howard Stern's schedule. It was ridiculous.
I would be in the Four Seasons suite in Kona for 1.5 of those 2 months.
I would be in the Four Seasons in Maui. I'm exactly.
I almost said Maui, but
the same thing. But the Kona one's better. I love it. I got a buddy with
it is good.
Love that place, dude.
Don't get stoned in Kona because you start to get bugged out that there's no trees.
There's no trees in Kona?
Only on the resort.
Good point.
It's the moon.
It looks like a desert. You're right.
You get super baked, and you go, I'm going to go for a ride, and you realize, I'm on a pancake in the ocean.
I'm in Mars,
This is not cool. One wave, and we're all out of here. God, I can't climb a coconut tree to save myself from the tsunami.
That's so funny you say it, because I just had a visual recall of like, it looks like you're on Mars when you're driving into the city of Kona from Four Seasons there. You're totally right.
And from the airport, it's a pancake.
I forgot about that. You think you need palm trees and all that shit? None of that.
And then you start bugging out like, the only palm trees, they're on resorts like us. They're phonies just like I am, man.
Who am I, dude? I'm a sellout. But the Extra gig, though, was great. I loved doing it. It was an honor to do. And they really coddled me, dude, because I came from the rock and roll world, and I was kind of like on the fence about taking the job because I'm like, 5 days a week, showing up every day. I mean, those are my concerns.
To anybody listening, I accept the job right now.
Yes, me too.
Just call me and say, come in Monday.
Yeah, I would take it again, too.
You put it aside to focus on your music, you creep. What are you talking about?
No, you know what?
I really want to get back to my career.
No,
you're like David Caruso. Like, you know what? I don't want to be on NYPD Blue. I'm going back to movies.
And I just wanted to follow John Tesh and, do the leave for music thing.
My God.
Didn't work out for me as well.
Who plays Bigger Rooms?
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt, John Tesh.
In America, who plays Bigger Rooms?
John Tesh.
Really?
John Tesh, dude, will play theaters. We don't play theaters anymore. We do like clubs and stuff. And what we do is a lot of corporate shows and a lot of the soft ticket shows.
We're talking about your
band Sugar Ray.
Your band Wonder Girls, right?
Yes, that's it. Sugar Ray. My Wikipedia, I'm probably the only guy in the world who doesn't add to his Wikipedia. My Wikipedia is like half a paragraph and like it's all mistakes. That Wonder Girls was like a 1-day studio project. And nothing even became of it.
Ian Astbury of the Cult.
Right. And Scott Weiland.
And
Ashley Hamilton.
Martin Lenoble from Porno Papyrus.
That's right. That's right.
Out of the three guys I mentioned, who partied the hardest?
That's tough, but I would have to say for the longest stretch, it'd be Weiland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weiland or Whelan?
Weiland.
All right.
What do you say, Whelan?
I don't know.
There's the artist Weiland, and there's
one of Jim Rome's producers is Dave Whelan, so I get confused.
Yeah, I think it's Weiland. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Weiland. So that was like a one-day thing. It's weird, and that is like a dominant thing in my Wikipedia, which is so
Well, it was
tiny.
a super group.
Yeah.
You guys were ahead of the super group curve.
But it wasn't even we got together to record a song for a movie soundtrack that never even got finished. You know, just